Hi, I'm Rob, and let's jump into this. We need more Democrats in the 2028 presidential election. More Democrats is better. However, let me explain a few things. But first, this is what I wrote today. For you, for the people. Always about you. Somewhere along the line, those who ran for you turned running for you into profits for them. True power rests inside of the people as a collective whole. This is why America is so beautiful. It took a nation of free men and men as slaves and built what all of us enjoy today. However, the taxation on every level is out of control. And when we think about the fact that the American Revolution was started on a 15-cent tax hike, we really have to ask ourselves, what does all of this taxation get you? First, it gets you an entrenched Congress that sees the plight and suffering of every other human on the planet except for you, the American people. You get a Congress that sees the plight and suffering of every other human on the planet except for you, the American people. I promise I can't be bought because my poor 14-year-old mother who left me for dead did not understand the consequences of her actions, but left me with a real understanding of being abandoned and forgotten. And under my administration, no one will be forgotten or abandoned. I have strong convictions, but I can be swayed if the cause is good, righteous, and benefits you first. Let's raise the standard deduction to $400K. Yes, even for wealthy Americans, because the America we all know represents all of us, and no one is second place. Whatever. Second, I'm going to fix health insurance, healthcare, and we're going to do it right, changing nothing but the formula on how health insurance is created. Together, with less taxation and peace for you, knowing you have health care, will allow all of America, not just a few rich cabinet members that use the tool of war, to achieve market gains at the expense of human lives and American prestige. I am Robert C. Ayala, and I am always about you, even when you may not be for me. Thank you so much. Now, why am I bringing this all up? Well, first, I believe we need more Democrats. And we need to talk about more Democrats in the realm of Democrats that look like me and younger Democrats. And I'm not young, I'm 50. So the reality of it is that we need to look at a couple things. So the first thing is this. In Illinois, it won't pass, but it's this constant belief that when people we send to represent us go anywhere, the first thing they want to do is line their pockets by taxing us more. This is a social media platform fee being proposed in the state of Illinois, a blue Democratic state. This is what I'm talking about. This is why we need more Democrats in the presidential race. We have to discuss what it means to be a Democrat. What does the Democratic Party look like going forward? First of all, I believe it's fully inclusive, but outside of that, that's a given. What does it look for representing the people it's supposed to represent? And like, just when you look at these things, you clearly, if you are a social media content producer, If you are someone who has monetized any platform, you know how much work you have done. For a government to come in there and artificially, artificially look at what you have built over 10, 15, 20 years and then lay a conditional $165,000 tax every month has to be the most insidious and the most insane thing that I can think of. And this is coming from a Democratic state with Democratic legislators, which brings me back to why we need more young Democrats that look like me in the 2028. Let's just take a look first at one of the things. When we look at 2028, we have J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Tucker Carlson, and Ron DeSantis. And regardless of their percentage points today, they are all generally under the age of 50, right? So now let's bounce over to the good old Democratic side and look at people. And you can come here and you can look at yourself, but I'm not going to make any public assertions one way or another. But every single person on this list has either taken money and entrenched themselves in the system without actually delivering any results for you, or they're just old. And you know, as the next generation, which is really the next election, is going to be people who are predominantly under 50. Yes, you're going to have your folks that are over 65, but you know, Pete Buttigieg is you know, fundamentally, I think might have a chance, but he won't get through the Christian belt. Andy Beshear, he's, you know, from all my understanding, he's a great governor of Pennsylvania. But you know, I mean, we're in a country right now where we're wrongfully, right or wrong, we are wrongfully categorizing groups of people and subsects within that group, and we're just labeling all groups of one religion or one ideology or one race as they're all bad. And I think this is one of those things that we have to discuss. What does the next person who's going to represent the Democratic Party believe in law and order and criminal justice? You know, the only people that tend to be killed every night in this country are black people, and that never seems to change. And yet everywhere around the country, we use the statistics of that to bolster people's elections and their prospects for getting elected. And yet nothing changes with regards to the violence on the street. Our country could do something about it. We have massive amounts of surveillance everywhere else in the world. We have a massive military presence everywhere else in the world. But we don't do the things that secure the interest of our society as a whole. And I believe that the whole society working together as one is much better. And you know, when you look at some of the things that are going on with the data centers and AI, and that generally as a whole, the American people are very distasteful of machines replacing their jobs, as they should be. But that's not the question. The question is there a group of men in this country that get to control all the decisions, all the money, and fire half the country in doing so? And I just don't think that's equitable. I think there has to be some balance in the middle where all shareholders, all stakeholders are represented. And today, I believe, like most Americans, that American people, the American people, are the least representative shareholders in the whole equation. We pay all the taxes. Everywhere we go, we pay taxes. Even in Florida and Texas, where you have no state income tax, you're just taxed for every single thing else that you do. And again, I bring it back to George Washington gave up the office of the presidency. He didn't go back to suffer a 50% income tax along with state income taxes, along with property taxes. Think about that. You build or you buy a home in your life, and in the majority of states, there's some form of property tax that you will forever pay, and if you don't pay them, then you lose the property that you purchase. And I think in terms of When you're talking about the Constitution and things of that nature, I think that's an unreasonable taking, is to take somebody's life who has worked their whole life, paid all the taxes, and then at the last moment when they are on their way out and they can't afford things, the state and everybody jumps in and pounces to take what is rightfully not theirs. So I just want to close out with, when we look at what happened in 2023, whether you like it or not, Donald Trump won, but he won out of a crowded field. And the question that we have to ask is, are Democrats going to once again just go about it the same way, throwing a candidate up there with a set of issues again, and just on the voter ID law? And I was having a conversation with a friend the other day about it, and I think there's some misconception on the voter ID law. So I'm going to explain it to people in very clear ID. I don't really care about the voter ID law. I think a lot of people who are minorities and black and Hispanics, and I don't speak for everybody, but I don't think they care about it either. What I think is bothersome to a lot of people is this idea that when a group of politicians stands up there and says, well, you can't vote because you don't have the ability to get an ID in the United States of America, where literally an ID is required for every single transaction in this country, right? But to say that, I was trying to communicate to my other friend that this is hella racist. This is how they use black people in furtherance of goals that really have nothing to do with us. If you don't want to have voter ID laws, Democrats, because you want people to vote who shouldn't be voting, then you should come out there and say that. What you shouldn't do is you shouldn't do what Trump does. Blame black people for him losing an election, or for you not winning an election because, hey, we can't support ID laws and we want to, we can't win. Democrats basically say we can't win unless there's fraud at the door. And I, once again, believe these are the reasons why Democrats need more people in the 2028 presidential race. I ask everybody should join me. You don't need any money. You don't need money to go and speak ideas that you think will help the country. And I'm going to go and try to speak ideas that I think will help every American keep more money. For the last 20 years, all we have done is paid into a system that focuses on the government and what the government wants. I believe, at least for the next 4 years after Mr. Donald Trump, that we should focus on giving back the money to the people who pay the bills, and that's the American taxpayer. I'm Rob. You guys have a great night. Bye for now.